everyone, and welcome to the Coach's Playbook, where we interview one of our core coaches on a tactic that has moved the needle in their business. Today, we are interviewing Niki Salter, a lender with Legacy Mutual in San Antonio, and a coach well loved and adored for her toughness and no-nonsense approach. So welcome, Niki.
That's so awesome. That's funny. Hey. So what are we talking about? So you want a big tactic and how it impacted me?
Yeah. So we would love to know something that you've implemented in your business that has made a big difference for you.
Cool. So I am an addict, literally addicted to my accounts pyramid. So before I came in the core, I was doing about 140 leads a month. I was closing 8 to 12, which if you do the math on that, obviously is not very good. And then when I started realizing that, there were only a couple of reasons that the conversion would be that low, and one of them being the referral source itself. So when I was taught the accounts pyramid in my first semester, and I literally went through with a red pen and started just saying, okay, how many people had sent me, which realtors had sent me how many leads and how many of those converted, and why didn't they convert? Was it because there were 5 lenders calling them? Was it because they were just all people that didn't qualify, or were they just weren't getting good leads? And so, that then trickled down to me. So as painful as it was, because I'm a super loyal person, I literally went through my accounts pyramid with a red pen. In the first 12 months, I increased my average loan size from 140 to 280 and tripled my income. And I'm telling you, it was the lead tracker, but it was the accounts pyramid. The lead tracker and the accounts pyramid completely changed my business, because the leads were there, but I just wasn't business-wise. I didn't have the right business. My business wasn't efficient. So huge change. And to this day, I literally keep it on my desk, like laminate. I wiped it for you so that it would look like all crazy. But I actually, as far as how we did it, we didn't change it. So we literally do it 100% core style. So the only thing I do have like a really, I don't know what size this is, but like this is my head. So you can take the, right, like whatever that is. And so we have a really big one, and it's a regular accounts pyramid, and it's laminated. So I keep this one on my desk. Okay. And then I keep a huge wall-sized one in my marketing room, where my assistant is, and my marketing assistant, and it's laminated as well, so we can write on it with dry erase markers. So everybody that we're chasing that hasn't sent us business is under here. The top 50 is anybody that sent us leads, or between have sent us leads or at least closed 1 to 3. And then accounts are anywhere that's 4 to 9 deals a year. And then channel accounts, which are our heavy hitters, we call those our homies. Those are anybody who closes more than 12 with us a year. And so I keep one, and then I also keep a running list of VIPs that I don't want to forget about, because I have my VIPs, and then I also have my ones that are like, I don't just talk to them once a month, like I'm talking to them every week. And so I remind myself, like, if somebody no-shows me or anything like that, I can just look down and say, hey, I've got an hour, who do I call? And I keep them right there. By keeping it on my desk, so I have a copy, we have a written copy, like a master copy, and then we have another, wall one, all for dry erase. It's real easy for me, like as I'm going through, rather than have to, call one of my girls and say, hey, add it. I just jot it down here as I'm going through, and, or hey, I want to move this person up, or hey, I really enjoy my Monday calls with them, I want to focus on them. I take notes on here. They come and get it once a month. They sync it up with my marketing assistant, people that are coming to the lunch and learns, because she tracks all of that. So she puts it on theirs, she adds it back to mine for me, and then she syncs up mine, pulls everything from it, and then puts it on both the master written copy and the one on the wall. The reason that we do the big one on the wall is so that everybody can see it. I want everybody to see, hey, who have we not talked to? Who do we need to do something for? Because as much as we have the relationship systematized, those random calls and those random texts, hey, I was thinking about you, it goes a long way because it really does feel random. And if they weren't sitting on the wall, then we wouldn't see that. The other thing I was going to tell you something else. One thing that I did add is that in addition to the names, every month we track, and this is year to date. So we start over in January. Every month there's 2 numbers next to everybody's name. How many leads they've sent us year to date, and then a dash and how many deals we've closed year to date. Even though we keep track of it on the lead tracker, we also keep it on here so that I can see, like, for example, I mean, this sounds bad, but it's just the truth. It's Saturday, I'm hanging out with my kid. If I know that, hey, one of my agents is calling me, and maybe it's somebody that I've only done 7 deals with, you know, I do 7 deals with a year, but maybe that realtor only sends me 10 leads. The likelihood of that call being valuable and worth me taking 10 minutes to sit there and go through whatever it is that she needs, it's top of mind and fresh for me. And so it keeps me engaged in my business. And helps me be more grateful and appreciative, you know, when those calls come in, instead of looking at it and going, you know, I got to take this. It keeps me excited because I know that, hey, that's somebody who she only calls me if she really needs something. So it keeps me engaged.
Yeah, for sure. And helps you know, like, this is going to be 10 minutes on my Saturday.
Exactly. Yeah, and so that actually, so now, I mean, I've been able to keep a consistent over 35% conversion, and it's because of the accounts pyramid, hands down. And that's lead to paid on, not lead to button share, but lead, like any lead. Like you call me and say, hey, my mom's going to call you to buy a house, I would write it down. So lead to paid on is consistently over 35%. Even the only dip that we had was the last 12 months when we converted back to a heavier realtor model. Instead of, you know, I ended up at 80% builder, 20% realtor. Now we're back to 50-50. And, but we're back to over 35%. It took probably 14 months to get back there, but we definitely did. And it's the accounts pyramid. I mean, you can't work with that many realtors because you think the problem is that the high maintenance ones feel like they're the ones doing the most activity, and that's not the case. And so what ends up is you have these ones that are fantastic resources and that are loyal, and they end up falling through the cracks because they're just not high maintenance. They don't need much. And so you end up not doing as much for them. And this keeps that from happening. This accounts pyramid also feeds all of my list. It feeds my top 40 realtors. It feeds my VIPs. Everything comes from this accounts pyramid. And so, and they literally then, like my team, my assistant, she loads my phone burner from this. So like she takes my accounts pyramid, and then from there she like feeds the list, and then from the list puts it all into my phone burner for me, so that every single time I sit down to do a power hour, and that was my battle cry this semester, was like my big thing was I'm going to master my power hours. And that's how we've been doing it, is just, hey, feed them in there. And then that way I'm making sure I'm touching with all those people. So it literally, it all flows down from the accounts pyramid.
From that list. And that's some really detailed tracking that you have on that list with your looking at it once a month, or how often?
Oh, no. So we're looking at it daily, but it is fully reconciled same day, same time every month. So it's like the first Wednesday, I think, is where it is on the calendar. They come and get the first Wednesday of every month. They reconcile from the previous 30 days.
Okay.
So they go back through, and every lead that came in, so they reconcile mine with theirs to see if I've added anybody new or crossed somebody out and moved them up that I want, you know, based on whatever it is that, because some of them, it's maybe they're not there yet, but I want them to be. So I'll note them like, hey, I want to focus on them hardcore and get them up to the next level. But also the master, they take the lead tracker and they sync it up. And then they take, if I've added anybody to prospects, or if my marketing rep has added anything to prospects, then we add them to the master as well. So that gets reconciled once a month. And like I said, it's like the first Wednesday of every month, because the previous month is complete. And then they also from there change the list for the month as well.
Okay. It's like budget day for your relationships.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so for someone who doesn't have an accounts pyramid right now, what steps would they take to get one going? Just
So literally just print one and sit down and don't overthink it and just say, okay, everybody that I work with needs to be on this list.
okay.
And instead I have students that stress about it and they're like, but I don't know how many they're going to do versus how many, like, stop. Just like, if they haven't sent you anything, then they're a prospect. Or if they haven't sent to me, like if they haven't sent us anything in a year, right, they're a prospect. They're not somebody that is active with us. So, put them in prospects. If it's somebody that sends you leads, or you've done, you do a couple of deals with a year, or have done a couple, put them in there. But if it's somebody that, hey, like maybe they've only done 3, let's say, so this is, we just got into May, let's say you have a new realtor that you just brought on this year, but they've already sent you 3, that's a likelihood it's going to be a channel account. Just put them as a channel account. And then as you start tracking the data, it gets like, if you will just start it, it gets tighter as you go. So if you stress about getting it perfect, you'll never do it. If you just get it down on paper, and then, we literally redo these all the time. If I come in, I literally, like, what caused me to wipe it the first time, I got mad. I was doing like my lead tracker calls, maybe my hot lead calls one day, and I noticed all of my leads were from the newer realtors that we were working with. And the older ones like seasoned relationships, I got mad. Like during my call, I wiped the whole thing. And I literally said, on my laminated one, I only want to go 3 months back. Because I was mad. I was like, I want the ones that are hot and heavy. I got over it and I was like, okay, let's make sure that the OGs are on there too. But like, it kept me, I was fired up, and I made sure, the people that have in the last 3 months been hustling and getting us stuff, let's love on them. And so it just keeps it fresh. It keeps it top of mind. Otherwise, you wouldn't notice, if it's not there in front of your face, that you haven't gotten a deal from somebody in 6 months.
Yeah. Awesome. And I know that you said this already, but would you tell us again the results that you've seen in your business as a result of sticking to the system?
Well, yeah, that was just the first year. So so when I came in, my average loan size was 147. I was doing, consistently 140 leads a month, closing 8 to 12. And I did, it was just in that first, it was like the first 14 or 15 months, we were at 280 average loan size. This was like 285. And our conversion was up over 25% at that point. And right now,
and that conversion is to deals closed.
That is lead to paid on. Like, hey, a lead came in and I got paid on it. And so right now we're at, last month I did 150. So in April I did 115 leads, and right now I have 39 closings personally for May. So whatever that is, 39 divided by 115. So about 34% on that month.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that information with us today, Niki. If any of you out there want to make your business look like Niki's, we can help you out with that. Reach out to us today at thecoretraining.com or on social media at thecoretraining.